What's going on, everybody? It's Crypto Vision here, back again with another Monday live stream. I hope you had a great Easter weekend. Hope you had some time with your family, your friends, did something that you enjoy. We're back at it again today. We're going to be covering some news. As always, we're going to be going over some of the charts. We're going to be going over some Bitcoin, XLM, Ethereum, things of that nature. As always, we'll be checking out chart requests, possibly look at some gold and silver, talk about um, the Trueflation report that came out, and some other stuff. So, as always, I thank you for stopping by. I thank you for your time. If you have questions or concerns for anything, go ahead, leave that in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you're interested in a free Discord, I offer that. It is, has a general chat, all of the announcements, YouTube updates, my X feed. We have a community chart share where bullish, bearish, neutral. You can go ahead, post your charts in there, and leave your thoughts, and people can reflect on that. If you're looking for more in-depth analysis, more tools at your disposal, more tools at your disposal, I offer a paid Patreon membership as well. Before you pay anything, you can look and read what it offers, what it entails, and so there's nothing hidden in there. There's no what you see is what you get, and so gotta put that out there for y'all. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we got some green on the charts. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Middle East conflict. So tomorrow is supposed to be a deadline for the Iran war ceasefire. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think so. I think it's going to take, another. I've been saying maybe another week or two. I think I don't think they're really understanding what the next phase is going to be, and so bridges, power plants, water facilities, things of that nature, living, things that assist with living, those will be targeted. And so I don't think there'll be a ceasefire. I think we have green today. I'm expecting. I mean, if I'm being honest, starting the week. I mean, if we're going to talk about XLM, obviously, but I don't like the weeks when they just start off. They closing Monday or Sunday at 5 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock p.m. I don't like when the market opens for that Monday that it opens immediately green. Because then you got candles like we're looking at right now for XLM. You get candles. I think Bitcoin might be green, but you get the candles where you got that wick, that upside wick, and then immediately you start trending down. So, you know, can we reverse? Possibly, but I think a lot of stock is being put into tomorrow. We'll look at some charts. We did have a breakout today in Osana. I put a short out there. We're going to cover that a little bit, just touch on that. For key levels, just kind of understanding how key levels work if you're new to the channel, expectations, and things of that nature. So right now, like I said, the Middle East conflict, I don't think is going to, I don't think it's going to end tomorrow. Trueflation posted a inflation report at 1.44%. It is rising from their records of 1.26% because of fuel. Okay, and that's affecting that they're expecting that's going to reaccelerate food and recreation activities, and so we can look for possibly inflation causing some of these prices to go up, right? I mean it's the premise of everything requires fuel, everything requires gasoline, and so if that goes up, everything goes up. It's a trickle down effect. Okay, so as long as this conflict is going on in the Middle East, inflation I believe will rise, um, because everything will cost more, right? And so that will give rise to not a cut this month. I'm not expecting a cut this month. I think it is next week. I think it's like the 14th or so. And so, what up, Absurd? Thanks for stopping by, brother. Yep, I'll check out Algo for sure. I got you. Um, yeah, I don't think the rate cuts are gonna happen this month. Possibly, next month. I think that first month that new Fed chair is in, I think that's when they're gonna cut rates, just because he's gonna come out with a statement. He's gonna come out with a bang. Hopefully the war's over. I'm expecting the war to be going on for another 2 to 3 weeks. About the April 20th to the end of April, and we have reason to believe that could be the next leg up. That could be the next move. Some of these micro charts, so some of the altcoins we've talked about, like DGen, um, what did we talk about? TARS, Ondo. Some of these things they were we were kind of expecting these to be breaking out by the first week of April. But that's not the overall market that we're talking about. We're talking about Bitcoin dominance. We'll get into Bitcoin dominance, stablecoin dominance, and how we're kind of expecting those to break out by the end of April. It's like April 20th to the beginning of May. So at least for Bitcoin dominance, it can go sideways for the rest of April. So we can kind of just chop around and do nothing, which I expect to do. If you're still at war, I don't expect markets to be real decisive. So, people who are saying, "Oh, we're about to get a breakout," it's right now. I just think we're going to continue to be range bound for sure. I do want to check out Bitcoin dominance first. The reason why I'm saying Bitcoin dominance, I mean, it's been just, it cannot defeat the 100, and I think that's on purpose. I think, market makers understand that people use Bitcoin dominance to enter positions, right? They enter altcoins based on this chart, and vice versa. They get out of altcoins to enter Bitcoin, vice versa, right? And so it's been, I mean, when you're this long in between EMAs, I mean, you've been in between these EMAs for, I mean, realistically, since, I want to say below the 50, so we'll say right through here. Since August 11th. So since August 11th, you've just been down below the 50 and above the 100. So it's just it's a waiting game at this point. It's a waiting game at this point. This does have a green dot once again. It's playing pity patter with the moving average on the RSI. This MACD, I don't really use the MACD in terms of movement, but the momentum, it's indecisive, right? It's very indecisive. Pardon me. It's not moving anywhere. It's not moving up. It's not moving down. It's indecisive. So you can't really use this chart right now and gauge a direction on Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion. Okay, so you got to go to the larger time frames. Okay, so larger time frames, we do have Bitcoin dominance. Look at that. This is what we talked about right here. We talked about this right here. We talked about Bitcoin dominance coming back up through here, rejecting off of this, and then coming down. That was a terrible arrow. It's exactly what we talked about. We talked about a back test. We need a back test, a successful back test. And right now we are back above the 20 EMA. Okay, so we're back above the 20 EMA. And until we break down below this 50 on the RSI, that's really when Bitcoin dominance starts. So you need to close below the 20, right? Close below the 20 and then close below the 50 on the RSI. So, it's getting close, but like I said, Bitcoin dominance can range for the rest of April. But a lot of people are expecting Bitcoin to tank, right? A lot of people are saying that bear flag is going to play out and Bitcoin is going to go down to $30,000. So right now, Bitcoin dominance, it's still staying alive, still staying above that 50. And we kind of expected if we get a move, Bitcoin's got to lead it, right? We're not going to be naive and say, oh, it's just going to be altcoins. Pardon me. Bitcoin's going to lead it. That's going to cause Bitcoin dominance to rise. Okay, and then Ethereum will take over because Bitcoin is going crazy. I mean, Bitcoin is up. It's up. It's negligible. It's not really anywhere. But Ethereum dominance. So they're about doing the same thing. We're gonna get into that. So if you're interested in Bitcoin and Ethereum, stick around, and we'll cover those. In terms of the stablecoin dominance chart. So this is aligned with what I talked about with Bitcoin dominance, but a little bit earlier, right? So the middle of April, right? We're looking for a move at the middle to April 13th to April 20th. So we could be range bound for another week, right? For another week. So we want this chart to go down. If you don't know, this chart is inversely related to crypto. It is a kind of a safe haven for people who are unsure, for markets that are uncertain. You can get yield on it. So people place they sell their crypto and they put it into this and they wait for a time to buy, an optimal time to buy, and they take this out and they put it into their selected crypto and or gold, silver, whatever their exchange offers, right? And so right now, you're above all your EMAs. It says flagging out. But right now you do have like a 1, 2, 3. You came down for a 4 and you came up for a 5. So you have 5 waves up. We've talked about this having 5 waves up for a while. You have 5 waves up. We're waiting to see if, this is going to have an actual A correction. An A correction is an actual sell-off, like a big sell-off, steep sell-off. And then you got the B wave, and then the C wave is the long-term drawn-out correction. It takes out lows. It goes down low, but it just takes forever. That's the grueling one. Usually your A wave is fast. Usually this wave, it should be fast. It should be something like that. Boom. I'll give you an instant example, not using Bitcoin, because everyone knows about Bitcoin. Everyone knows about Bitcoin. We're going to use silver. We're going to use silver. This is something that we would expect on an A wave. Right? That's exactly what we'd expect on an A wave, okay? So, you're up at 120. You're up at 120, right? 120 something. And 3 weeks later, you're down, you're down here at $74. You're down 38% 3 weeks later, okay? So this, like what I'm saying is this could be an A wave. So 3 down, you got to get 3 up, and then you can come back down and slowly come down and, wreck people's ideas of fortune and fame and all that stuff, and really drive people crazy. And that's why C waves, they really weed people out, because people can't take it. People can't take the day in and day out grind of a C wave, right? This is easy, in my opinion. That's easy. The A wave, because it's done, right? And then you get some green. Then once you reject, then it's like, oh my gosh, this is just get it over with. Get it over with. Please stop. Please make it stop. Please make it stop. And then you start going up. You start doing that, right? So that's kind of what I'm expecting for. That's what I would expect for stablecoin dominance. I would expect stablecoin dominance to do that, to do this, right? Because it really hasn't done anything yet, right? It really hasn't done anything. I would expect this to come down through here, bounce probably off the 50, back test some previous areas of support, right? Back test the 50, come up, and the 3 would move, then come back down, right? Then come back down. You can make a higher low possibly, or you can take out lows. Right, I'm not too sure yet what stablecoin dominance is going to do. I'm really not too sure yet. Until we get a decisive move, until you get that sell-off, I'm not sure. And for me to say I'm sure when I'm not would be lying, and I don't want to lie to you. Right? I don't want to lie to you. I don't have all the answers. I'm just putting my best foot forward and letting you guys know what I think, right? Because these are my ideas, these are my levels. This isn't financial advice. You guys are just hanging out with me as we go through the charts, right? And so make sure that you have a plan. Make sure you stick to your plan as always, okay? So that's what we're looking for stablecoin dominance. We're looking for a reason to have a time frame, right? You can't just throw out dates and be like, okay, by this month, right? If it doesn't happen on a certain time that you expect, you can't just push it back a month. You can't just push it back a month because it's 30 days and it gives you more time for your idea to work out. You got to kind of narrow down a time frame when something can move. Then you look for that time frame. If it doesn't move, then you kind of got to come up with a new plan. I've been doing that for a while now. A couple things haven't worked out. A couple things did work out. You just keep adjusting on the fly. You can't rest on your laurels, and you can't get beat up about things that you get wrong. This thing is too hard to do that, right? It's too hard. If everyone was doing this, they would understand, right? So we got that for macro charts. We're gonna look at one more macro. I do want to look at the Russell a little bit. Yeah, I do want to look at the Russell. Look at that on the weekly chart. So the Russell, if you don't know, the Russell is the lower credited version of the NASDAQ, right, of the S&P. So lower credited stocks, lower market cap stocks, newer stocks, more risk on appetite, right? These stocks have a higher potential on your return on investment. They can lose you all your money too, right? This is the altcoins of your traditional stock market, okay? So just so you didn't know. And so right now what we got going on is the Russell came down through here. We had some key levels. We had some key levels down at, 26.33. It was a red line. It was red. I changed it to yellow because it's now resistance. So we broke down through here, and we were targeting 23.40. We were targeting 23.40, okay? And what has happened now is it bounced right off that 50. I honestly didn't expect it to bounce off the 50. I thought it would, take a little bit longer to correct. What up, Phoenix? Yeah, the timing is the hardest part in these environments. I agree, brother. I agree. I wish I had a crystal ball, but I don't. That timing is absolutely brutal. It's kind of easier though with the war going on, right? It's pretty evident. I don't think a move is going to happen until this thing is is reconciled and taken care of. So that's kind of helping out too. All right, we'll find out tomorrow. Like I said, I just in case you missed, I don't expect anything to happen tomorrow. I don't expect a ceasefire to happen tomorrow. Um, but if we put this on, if we put this on, it is overbought. It is overbought for sure. The Russell is overbought, and that's why I expected kind of a sharper sell-off, just a sharper sell-off, and we really could still. We really could still. We could do this. You know, let's look at some price action just on the last, just through here. We're just going to check this out, right? No, that took out lows. We'll just check this out. Something like that, right? We'll just check this out, okay? So, you know, you possibly have a 1, 2, right? You have a 3, you have an A, B, C, you have a 4. Maybe you do come down for a 5, which I would expect, right? I'm expecting, I'm not really expecting a move quite yet. I don't think, you know, unless there's peace announced. Unless there's peace announced, then a move could really happen. But right now, I'm just not. I don't know. There's something that's just telling me, you know, don't fall for this because it's just not ready yet. It's just not ready. We talked about stablecoin dominance not being quite ready yet. This move did hit the 2618, coming right back down. You know, I would 23.20. If it's $20 off, I guess I should retire, right? I guess I should retire if it's $20 off. Take this down through here. The one is at 22.93. 22.93. So we could have this down through here. The one extension. You would expect the one extension. Could be hit. Right? Could be hit. Okay. Especially on the fifth wave. Fifth wave is usually, it is less impulsive and than the third wave. So so you know, a little range through here. Wow, that fits right at that 100. When I'm doing those fibs and I'm looking at key levels, I really lose sight of the EMAs, and it is nice when you put up some key levels and they reflect the EMAs, because that means you're not, doesn't mean you're spot on, but you're onto something, right? So would I be surprised if the Russell comes down through here, closes? No, you know, but at the same time, you know, you have, it's nothing new, right? With this environment, there's 4 signals that tell us something bearish. There's 3.9 signals that tell us something bullish, right? A little bit more of a bearish leaning market sentiment, a little bit more bearish leaning structure, a little bit more bearish leaning price action, but that doesn't, you can't rule out the bullish things as well, okay? So here on the weekly chart, we're getting a green buy signal. And every time we get those down here at these low levels, okay, under 0. Okay, well, the last 3 we got something. This is something that could be similar. This last one right here, where you had a green buy signal, it kind of flushed out a little bit, and then the next one was actually something that went up. Ultimately, right? Ultimately, both of these signals right here was just a correction, right? Ultimately, that was just a correction, okay? So that's what can happen down here. Green doesn't just mean straight up. It does mean that, you know, you did get some candles. You got, I mean, that does look like about 3 months of candles. 10 bars, 70 days, so about 2 months. 2 months of green. That could lead to something big. Pardon me. But like I said, right now it's still extremely overbought. Maybe we do get a sharp correction and then start to work our way up. So we do want the Russell to do well. Russell's doing well. The rest of crypto is doing well. XLM really isn't doing that great today. We're gonna cover. We're gonna just look at gold and silver real quick, and then we'll get into. We got to do the macros first. You know how Monday goes. You know how it do. Okay, so we got gold here on the weekly chart. We've been talking about gold for a while. We need this fib on here. Can this go on the weekly? Yes, it can. All right, cool. We got this. What up, Banano? And then you go, and then you go. Yep. and then you go, and then you go, and you get a car, and you go. Okay, so we got gold here on the weekly chart. We have some price levels down from 42 all the way to 3600. I do believe the liquidity problem that people are so hell bent on is right in front of us. I've been saying this for a while. I do believe gold and silver are going to contribute to the amount of liquidity that is going to enter the markets, right? It's gold is number 1, it's at multiple trillions of dollars. Silver is number 4, maybe number 5. It's at billions and billions of dollars. Okay, they've both went on a parabolic run. They're both in a correction. Okay, I was expecting to, for gold to come up possibly to 4,900, which it still can. You need 3 waves up. What do you got? You got 1, 2. Maybe you come up in 1 more wave, 3 waves up. If we're taking an asset and we're applying that to something that we're covering, so we're looking at gold. Okay, and let's act like gold has corrected for multiple weeks and months, similar to Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin, realistically, if it comes up in 3 waves, something like this, where it comes down for let's say that is what was it, 58,000, 60,000. Okay, and then Bitcoin came up to it hit I don't know 78, 80 something thousand, came down and then ran up again to 93,000. This is exactly what I would expect Bitcoin to do. Okay, if Bitcoin goes up in 3 waves, I would expect Bitcoin to continue its correction into an actual C wave. So we haven't even started yet, which would be terrible since if you were here in the beginning when I was talking about C waves, they're long, they're drawn out, they fake you out, they're grueling, right? If Bitcoin hasn't even started its C wave yet, I don't want to even imagine that. So right now, what we need for gold is a 3-wave move up. Come up here, reject, then the crypto market can actually start going. Not just crypto markets, traditional stock market as well. The reason why I say traditional stock market as well is because all these alerts went off. All these SoundHound, Nvidia, Plantar, Archer Aviation, Trump. Well, that's a crypto. But multiple of I don't have many on there that I'm watching, but a lot of my traditional stocks are saying, hey, it doesn't mean it's going to reverse immediately, but there's some bullish action going on. There's a green dot on the weekly. It's indicating that there's buyers that are stepping in, right? So what we need right now is gold to come up through here and reject. Just to clear it out. And so what we got is, a fluttering, not a fluttering, but almost so, right? Where you kind of just going sideways on the RSI. So you go down in the MACD. MACD is just for momentum. So the strength of the asset really isn't doing anything as the momentum is going down. The Fu Manchu, you have bounced off the lows, right? A lot of the times when you bounce off lows, you do get a little bounce, right? You get a little bounce. We want to see it in a correction though. We got to do apples to apples, right? We can't be looking at different things. We'll see it right here, right here. Came through right here, okay, right there. Got a bounce, right there. Got a bounce, and it didn't even hit down here. Okay, so those 2 interactions with that 0 on the bottom led to a bounce, right? Led to a bounce. So we would expect possibly gold to run up. Okay, has that red dot, has a red dot on the monthly as well. So it's pretty bearish. That's extremely bearish, if I'm being honest, extremely bearish. And so what we have is, a red on the monthly, a sell-off, but you're still above all of your EMAs, right? What is this EMA? This one's at 3,700, and what did we say it could come down to? 3,600. So 36 to 3,700, that's what I'm expecting gold. And then silver has been correcting extremely hard. I'm looking to buy silver. I have buy orders. I've said it multiple times. I'll keep saying it again. I got buy orders from $54 all the way down to possibly this $43, $44 range, where I think it could go down to. I'm just not the guy. I'm not the type of guy where, okay, I'm going to time the bottom. I'm going to buy it one time. I'm going to put all my money into one buy order. I would rather separate it into 20% intervals, 15% intervals, 25% intervals, whatever I'm feeling, that's the way I like to do things. If I'm really aggressive, 33% intervals, 50% intervals, I just take half, I'm buying it here. Taking my other half, I'm buying it there. That's what I'm doing. So I don't just go 100% in on an asset when it's approaching a target that I'm looking for. So silver here, this we've had the $74 marked for a while. It has served as some support. Yeah, some support. Now some resistance. If it breaks up above 74, then I'm expecting 92 to get hit one more time. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe it loses some steam and some luster, and then you can really come down through here and start correcting, which would be very nice for crypto. Okay, so what we got now? So let's go ahead and look at some altcoins. We gotta look at XLM. At XLM, right? So price action, not great. Not great, and the reason why I say not great is because you started off the week right when the market closed. You started off green, and so now we have an ugly candle. Unless Tuesday can flip around, unless we can get some positive news, maybe the war will end. That would really surprise me. Pardon me. If the war actually ends and we see something come about that, then this thing is it's gonna be extremely fun to be a part of. If until then, right, you really can come down through here and take out lows. Right, it's down below 13 cents. I do have levels down below that. I just don't like to mess up the charts right now until we defeat 20 cents. So the way the key levels work is we have 20 cents on here and we have 13.6. If we defeat 20, then we're looking up. I have targets up to like 28 to 30 cents. If we lose 13.6, I have targets from like 12.5 to like 11 cents or something like that, 10.5 cents. Nothing below 10 cents. I don't think XLM will break 10 cents. Right now it is, if we're looking at the weekly, I mean, you do have somewhat of like an ABC. You do have, so far you have a flat pattern building. It is the beginning of the week. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, not right now it doesn't because it's only Monday. Okay, but right now, as of right now, you got this high to low. I'm not going to take, I could take this, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to take that. Maybe I will if it aligns better, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't want to take that. That doesn't seem fair. That doesn't seem right. Realistically, you can come all the way down to 14.9 cents and still be okay. Once you lose this, then you're toast. Then you're toast. Realistically, if you close down below 14.8 cents on the weekly chart, yeah, you're gonna target lower prices for sure. I don't know whether or not I don't really want to take this wick up through here. I'm taking this wick on this candle just because it's part of that A wave. If we did want to take it, right? If we wanted to be conservative, we could take that until you break 16.8 cents. 16.8 cents. Close it on the weekly, right? Close above that on the weekly, right? So you'd have to come up through here. Close on the weekly, 16.8 cents. And I mean, look at this too. It's just at this point, do I have that? If I don't have that on there, I might actually add it on there. Let's see. Let's check it out. I got a lot of stuff on here. Maybe too much. 18.5. I'm moving this down. Almost like right there. I want to say 16.8. I really do. I really, really do. Let's just take this bottom, make sure it's all leveled up. That was a little bit lower. Getting these like perfectly lined up, it's hard for a blind man, I tell you what. All right, so close down below 15.1 cents. Then we're in trouble. Okay, really trying to stay. Okay, I thought I deleted everything else. The pause in my voice, I got nervous. Really closing down below, like I said, this 14.8, 15 cents. If you close down below that on the weekly, you're in trouble. Ping ponging down below. Let's take an extension. Let's see what's going on. We don't know the lows. We don't know the lows yet. We don't know the lows, but we're going to guess. We're going to guesstimate that we take out some of these. We'll be super conservative. Let's say we keep this alive and we're coming down to like 15.1 cents. Wow, I wasn't even looking at the price targets. I was just trying to get 15.1, 15 cents. It's all hypotheticals, right? These are hypotheticals. This is the fun stuff that we get to do. So we have, this 1618's at 20 cents. The 2618's at 23 cents. You got the 4272 all the way up at 29 cents. But Crypto Vision, the 4272, that's a crazy extension. Yeah, well, we're talking about crypto, so everything is possible. Everything is possible. Anything is possible, really. And so, right now we're dealing with a correction pattern. It doesn't look the worst. Okay, I do want to actually. I want to see something real quick, actually. Me and my crazy trend lines. Because we have broken out of this. We're going to do this instead. We're going to put this on the monthly. I'm going to move this around. We're going sideways now. We're going to use the monthly open. We're going to see what this looks like on the daily. We're going to move around the daily as well. Yep, that's what we're going to do. It's what we're going to do now. Do I want to leave it on the daily? Let's not leave it on the daily. Let's have the dailies on the daily. Because I got my own thing going on right now. There we go. Yep, this is good. This works for the daily. We just got to clean it up. We got to clean things up, right? We got to clean things up. Cool. All right. That's perfect. Okay, so XLM, we're still waiting on decision. Like I said, XLM is coming down, and it's been through this for a while. About the end of, not the end of April, but April 20th, sometime towards the end of April, we're looking for a decision. We're looking for a move. Right, we're looking for a decision. We're looking for a move. You're back at this lower aspect of this trend line once again. I mean, it's clockwork. It really is. I'm still waiting on a green dot. Nothing really going on right now. At least nothing really going on right now. I spoke way too soon. Look at all of this. You had a golden dot. A golden opportunity. We all know gold is good. Since March 19th, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 golden dots, bullish divergence. So that's 5 things of bullish divergence. Golden dots, man, it did lead to something. It didn't follow through. It led to something good. All right, so. It's normally associated with upside movement. So maybe we try to break out. Later today or tomorrow. So that's great. That's great to see. That's what you really want to see. I'm going to be covering, I think, DGen. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Jasmine actually next. So we're going to talk about Jasmine. We're going to talk about Jasmine. So we talked about XLM, some key levels to stay above, to get above, to not break through. Jasmine, on the other hand, Jasmine's been, it's been sad a little bit. It's been a little bit sad just because it hasn't really played out to what the larger pattern is kind of has suggested. We've been talking about this pattern right through here. And what we got going on here. Right, so you got like this M pattern coming down, come up through here, and then kind of just drag out. We got this M pattern through here, come up, drag out. Okay, and it's so much larger. The size is so much larger. We do have a green dot on the weekly chart. We're looking for a buy, so it's looking good. You have strong bullish divergence. Still just trying to get above the monthly open. This M pattern led to it took a while. It took a while. This M pattern led to a 1800% move. So this is, just from size comparison, I want to kind of, that's not going to work. Just comparisons to, I can always use I use the bars pattern. This is what I normally do, and I'll just keep doing it. This is why I'm so bullish on Jasmine. It's just because this chart that is playing out right here is so much bigger. It's something just like this right here. Something just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. Just like that. That's something I'd kind of expect for Jasmine moving forward. That takes it up to 24 cents. Okay, that's when your entry is lower than 1 cent and it goes up to, and the prospect is 23 cents, something like that. That would be that's just incredible, right? Look how, wow, that's see, sometimes when TA lines up, when I know it's a bars pattern, it's not perfect, it's not identical, okay, but when something lines up like this, I might just leave this on Jasmine. Right? I don't know if it's going to work out like this, but this is what I would expect. This is exactly what I would expect. You have a nice 1-2 setup, right? Nice 1-2. You have an A, B, C for your third wave. You come down in your fourth wave, and you go up for your fifth. The main reason why I'm saying wow is because you're coming 2020. Yeah, but think about this. Banano, think about this. If you're in, you can take profits. I wouldn't wait till 2028 to take profits. Right? If you're getting in for under a penny, right? If you're in for under a penny, right? And you're up through here. Even up through there, it's 200%. September of 2026, so the end of this year, you're up 1,200%, right? 21x, or you're up a 30x, right? That's maybe some people, maybe you guys are gonna buy and you guys are gonna hold to 2028, but I do think, right? I think we're right at bear market lows. That's what I'm thinking, and I'm buying. I've been buying Jasmine. It's been hard to do. I'm under, right? But I'm just going to keep buying it. Because I see something like this. And guess what happens when it comes up here and tests this trend line? Yeah, I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell 25, 30%. 25, 30%. It'll cover my entire entry 100%. All right. That would be, for me, it's roughly right around there, an 11x. So I would be able to get out all my initial everything. It's long-term capital gains, so I don't got to worry about capital gains tax. I could take some of that and possibly buy some more, but more than likely I'll just let it ride. But that's something, this is not exactly, but this is what I would expect something like XLM, right? If we're talking about XLM, it's not exact, but something, or XLM is where I'm expecting like a 1-2. So come up from maybe to 30 to 32 cents. 3. Okay. Come back down in a 4, and then you come back up in a 5, and then you break out, and then you're out. And then you can flag out possibly. And then go get one more, and then go and start your next move. Or, in reality, right? In reality, if you come up through here, if this third wave, you have an A, B, C, your third wave can take you even higher. But I'm expecting some turbulence around this trend line. I'm expecting turbulence around this trend line, and then you can start moving and grooving to the upside. So that's what I'm expecting for XLM. Similar to Jasmine. This looks beautiful. I couldn't have drawn it any better. And you all saw me. I did it live. I didn't do it previously. I've never done that with the lining up of the trend line. But that's the idea that I have, right? This is the idea, and you can see it clearly, and how the trend line how price action would interact with the trend line, where you come up here, you reject, you come up here, then you lose it, so you freak people out. I do want to actually highlight this. I do want to, because these are the emotions that people go through. These are the emotions. This is the roller coaster of crypto that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people haven't experienced. I haven't really experienced it to this significant of a continuation. I got lucky and I got in right before a very large move, and then I got out, and I've been buying at lows. I haven't been a part of a long, drawn out. I haven't been a part of something like this, and I'm being honest. I was more so in the aspect where I got in down through here. I got lucky and got jazzed me up at the that last run. So I didn't have to go through this. So this is for me too, right? So I'm talking to you guys, but I'm talking to myself, and where this is a roller coaster, right? You go up from a low to a high. You go up 800%, and then from this high to a low, you go down 50%. And then what do? From that low, then you come back up and you go up another 200%. And then you come back down, I'm guessing even more. Look at that. This is that fourth wave move. You're coming down, you went down 70%. And so right now, what we got going on is, turmoil of emotions going through here. And so my whole thesis, my whole philosophy is take profits, take profits, take profits. Just take some off the table, so you have some dry powder. And that's what I'm telling myself. I'm telling myself, take profits. Hey, take profits right here. Hey, take profits right there. You're up 400%. Take some off the table. Don't be greedy. You're up 250%. Take some off the table. Don't be greedy. This is what encapsulates. This is the overall mindset that I need to have. Me personally, I'm talking about me, that going into what I think is going to happen, because it's going to be hard to sell, because you're going to keep going and going and going and going. And so, sorry for that tangent. Not to be on my soapbox, but that's just I think it's extremely important, and it's a great visualization of what I think is to come. Okay, so what we got going on for DGen? Nothing much, right? Nothing much. This is my low cap meme coin play. It is back above the monthly open. We're looking to break 1.4. Sorry, we're looking to break 7.64, and once we get that, it's 1.455. Do I think the low is in? I think the low is pretty much in. I mean, could you go a little bit lower? Sure, you could get a little bit lower. But this thing is down like 98%. So it's pretty much in. It's base layer 3. It's not just a meme coin. I got, someone educated me on that. It's a base layer 3. It's on Coinbase. Coinbase loves to promote their products, especially when the bull market starts. So I had to get a Coinbase meme that is a base layer 3. So it's a little, there's some use case to it. And it's degen. It's just a representation of me. I'm not always a degenerate, but I like to gamble. I play blackjack. Sometimes it is what it is. You gotta, you can't deny. You can't deny yourself sometimes. Sometimes that's what it is. You just can't. You gotta look in the mirror and accept it. So I do like this based on the doji candle, right? You're still above this low right through here. You're still above this low. It's very ugly, but could be a 1-2. It's very ugly, but it's still a 1-2. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind. Very ugly, but still 1-2. I'm just looking at. I keep looking at Banano's 2028 cry emoji. It's that's so classic. I don't know. That got me laughing for some reason. Just because we've been in such the shitter for a while, so it's, I don't know. Sometimes you gotta have some fun when misery's all around you. The RSI on the moving average is breaking out, so we're looking for we're looking for a close of this 36 level. Really can hold it. tried to bounce off of it. So that's what we're looking for degen. Okay, so get above 764, 1455. Then you're looking for some actual great prices. Okay, actual great prices. Right now, we're just kind of bottoming and looking for a low. Looking for a low. Chainlink. We talked about Chainlink for a while here. Chainlink back above the monthly open. Chainlink, I have mixed emotions right now about Chainlink. I'm not the biggest. I don't think Chainlink. It's like I said, it's mixed emotions, right? I think Chainlink out of the three looked the most bearish to me, but it's also just going strictly sideways. So maybe just the sideways action. I haven't been covering Chainlink a lot. You've probably noticed that just because there's nothing really going on with Chainlink. It's going completely sideways since February 2nd. It's gone. It hasn't moved. $8, $9 right through here. $8.79 to $9. That's exactly what Chainlink has been doing. And so, yes, are we getting across above the RSI? Yes, we did on the moving average. Yes, we did. So we're back above it, but still, this horizontal line has been a line of support for a long time for Chainlink. All through here, right there. There, tried to hold it, and then once you lost it, then you're down below. And when you're down below, I mean, you didn't even get this down below on your bear market last time. Oh yes, you did a little bit. You did. I'm sorry, but not this low. This is lower than that low for sure. And you got higher prices, so that is bullish, hidden bullish divergence over a long period. You do have green momentum on the MACD. Is it showing anything of significance? Not really. There's not really anything showing on significance. 2-week chart, you still got a green dot. 3-week chart, no green dot, nothing like that. So not really going on a lot for Chainlink. If you want, drop Chainlink down, and I can go into a little bit more deeper analysis for you. Bitcoin. Let's check out some Bitcoin. We're gonna check out Bitcoin. We're gonna check out Ethereum, and then I'll get into Algo, and I'll get into some other chart requests. Okay. So Bitcoin on the daily, it's really not doing much. We did have, let me see. Okay. I think it's on the weekly. No, it's on the 4-hour. Yeah. Okay. Let's check this out. Okay. So what we got here on Bitcoin. So 68,743. I'm going to get rid of that because we have the monthly open at 68,221. Yeah, 68,743 has been a big area, but I'm going to get rid of it now because we do have an area right below it, which is the monthly open. Okay. So that's the new level that we need to stay above. Okay, we closed down below there. We're targeting lower levels. It's as simple as that. We're targeting 57,000. That's back on the table. Right now, 71,000. It makes it simple, right? So if you're new to the channel, okay, 71,000, 68,000. That's it. The 4-hour chart does look nice in the fact that it's kind of looks like a fake out, right? You came up through here, rejected. Okay, so it's not a fake out, but you came down through here. Oh, we're going lower. Oh, we're going lower. Oh, no, we're not. All right, so just I'm assuming a lot of bears were short right here at 68,000. I'm assuming there's a lot more bears right here at 71,000. Okay, so that, I mean, it would make sense. You're right at your trend line. Okay, no, we didn't reject. Oh, you got smoked. So right now, above all of your EMAs, finding support at your 200 EMA. On the 4-hour, this is very ugly. That's very ugly. This is actually nice. That's nice. That looks good. This looks good. This is an impulse. Now we need to flag out an impulse. Flag out an impulse. Don't just chop up. Don't chop up on little candles. You got to flag out. So where are we at right now? Bada bing, bada boom, baby. You can even use this, the low. You can use the low. That's perfect. So where are we going? Well, it looks like 70,000 is kind of the run of the mill right now. 70,000. You found some resistance right at that. I mean, the 200 EMA is right at that 1618. So that 69,000 level. No resistance. I mean, no real resistance at the, I mean, I guess you can call this resistance at the 786, 886 because it did wick up and then got rejected. So, okay, so we do have resistance through there. In terms of the 1618, really looking to, I mean, do you really need to hold 69,000? It would be very nice to hold 69,000, but you could really come back down to the monthly open once again. You can come back down to the monthly open again. You know, you'd have like your 1, 2, you have your A, you come down in a B wave, and you go up in a C wave. Okay, then you flag out. In a fourth wave move, you use 71,000 as support, and then you go up and you get 78. That would be how you do that. You break your trend line, you flag out, you back test your trend line, and you go. All right. So that's how price action needs to move to the upside. You can't just flutter. You can't flutter, or else you're gonna run out of steam. You're gonna run out of juice, and then you're gonna get rejected, and it's gonna be a hard rejection. It's gonna be a hard rejection. So Bitcoin, that's what it's doing right now on the 4 hour. You have the red dot up here on the 4 hour. You did get overbought. Wow. Got overbought. Yeah, you got overbought. I like that. I'm trying to 74. So that's not bad. That's not bad. Not at all. Not at all. Not bad at all. So kind of worrisome that you have a red dot already on Monday. So really don't want to correct for the rest of the week. Really don't want to do that. So we got these zones down through here that we'd look to get into. What's going on? Okay. So, alrighty. So that's what I got for Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the weekly chart. We can get rid of all this stuff. We're just gonna look at the indicators right now. Green dot on the weekly still has a green dot on the weekly, still above the moving average on your RSI. Nope, not crossing yet. Premature crossing, not crossing yet. 2-week chart, green dot. 3-week chart, nothing. We're really waiting on a 3-week chart buy. I mean, yeah, that it didn't really work out right here at all, but it was very close. But I mean, that is multiple weeks. Worked out right here though, and it worked out right here. So, but still, I want to see a green dot. I do want to see a green dot. I'm not worried that it's not going to work out. I want to see a green dot. I want to see it play out. Goes to the downside, whatever. Rip off the band-aid. Rip off the band-aid. Come back down through here. Bounce. Maybe you sweep the lows, and then go. But I don't think I think if you're coming down here, I think you're going to set a new low, and then you can go. Ethereum. What's going on today in the little look at this. I just want to check this out just real quick. I made a short on this. I mapped out these levels back in November of 2025. Back in November of 2025. Look at this. Came all the way down through here. Should have gone into this. This would have been a great opportunity. Bounced right off this level, defeating 24. You know, if it can close above this, especially like on a weekly time frame, come up through here, 73 cents. That would be my next target for Nosana. I made these a long time ago. So if you're interested, go check out the video. Don't go back and edit anything. These are the levels, and they've been the levels, and they'll stay the levels, right? Let's go to Ethereum real quick. 2100. Ethereum's actually doing fairly well right now. Ethereum is doing fairly well right now. Believe it or not, it's doing fairly well. I do want to throw these on because it kind of gives the idea that Ethereum was oversold, right? You got into the gold zone. You got into that golden pocket. And when this didn't even get into the golden zone, got into that green oversold zone, that fair value zone, it went on a big run. And so right now, you know, looking for Ethereum to really start closing above 2250 up through here. What do I have? 2179. I'll leave it at 2179 for now. Really trying to close above there. Is there a buy on the weekly? We had a buy on the weekly chart, which is great news. we're slowing of bullish of bearish momentum. So your momentum is slowing as you hold the weekly. So you're not really moving up, not moving down, but it's starting to paint a picture that I think, and you got a green dot on the 2 week chart. The last time you had a green dot on the 2 week chart, you really started to flourish and go. Same through here. You really flourished and went. You really flourished and went. Flourished and went. So, there's reasons to believe that Ethereum is going to lead the pack and do fairly well. It is. It's there's for me personally, I'm going to be betting on Ethereum. Really looking for the green dot on the 3 week, but nothing yet. Nothing yet. But Ethereum really trying to close above 2179. You close above 2179, we're targeting 3000 and above. So you close above here, you're targeting 3000 and above, to infinity and beyond, as one would say. But right now, is there anything else going on the? I think there's supposed to be an address today, a national address. Oh, deadline won't be moved. Knew it. I'm expecting that to not follow through. Kind of bad news, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Oh. Okay. Let me see through here. Sorry. Okay. Let me check this out. Phoenix. What about oil? It seems to be the main character currently. Yeah, no, I just read a report. Saudi Arabia has, just as of today, increased its oil to its highest mark for Europe and Asia. So yes, I do believe I talked about that in the beginning. Trueflation, actually, let me talk. I will highlight that once again. So right here, so Trueflation. I like to use Trueflation. I know it hasn't, for some reason, it hasn't really reflected what's been going on. Maybe because of the drastic volatility of the world events. But Trueflation has, for at least I've been using it for a long time. I'd like to have real-time information. The government's always late. It's not lazy, but they're always behind. They're always lagging. But Trueflation posted a 1.44% today. It rose from last week. Last week was 1.26, and the reason for its rise is because the climbing of gasoline. Right, it's above $4.11 per gallon. Okay, and so with that acceleration, that is accelerating the price in food and goods and recreation. So, I think, and paired with this, that it's going to be fast where, one day you're going to show up and milk is going to be 15% more. I do think inflation is going to creep up, and it's not going to be great. And so what I've been presenting for a while is that the oil that we are going to be using is not going to be, we can't be dependent on foreign countries. And I think that's what the current administration is trying to do. We're not trying to be dependent on foreign countries. With that being said, we're dependent on a foreign country in Venezuela now, right? So I do think we're going to be using Venezuelan oil. We're going to be using oil from the United States. And at some point, I think within this deal with Iran ceasefire, there's going to be a factor of oil going to the United States, and or there's a lot of me that believes we're not leaving that region. We've already gone there without any kind of stamp on oil. The one thing though is when oil usually rises and gets crazy, so do precious metals. And so that's kind of why I talked about the precious metals of gold and silver possibly going up on that third leg, right? We talked about that. Because I don't think the war is going to. I don't think the ceasefire is gonna last. Right? I don't think the ceasefire is gonna last, and so as this goes up, I do think oil will be going up, right? Because people are going to be looking for a safe haven. Once this finishes correcting, that's when I do believe the war is going to be over. Ceasefire announced. You know, main events, big players. I don't think they really. Uh, I don't think they really care about the price of oil because they're so loaded and rich. I do think that they're using the events of the Middle East to get out of gold and silver, and so they're more than likely they've been already getting out. They're going to continue to get out, especially after this nice correction. Um, and the fact that oil drives up inflation because it drives up all goods, I think is the main reason why the administration is pushing so hard for a um, ceasefire. But at the same time, we have to think the current administration does not get along with Jerome Powell. President Trump, Jerome Powell, oil and water, they do not mix. They do not get along. They don't work well together. And so, I don't think he really cares about this month's data. It's crazy to say, uh, jobs are up, so that's good. PMI is up, that's good. The Fed is expanding. It's whatchamacallit. I can't think of everything at once. It's balance sheet, so that's good. Okay, so all these things are good, and I think he just needs the right person in place, and this war over in the Middle East to be done, and then the markets will start to rise up. But we talked about some time frames of the from April 20th to the end of April, in which Bitcoin dominance, stablecoin dominance are looking for a decision, and so that paired along with the news in the Middle East, paired along with the price of oil, leads me to believe that I don't think the war is going to, like I said, I don't think it's going to be over by tomorrow. So I know a lot of people are expecting it. I'd be extremely shocked, and oil will keep rising, but it's not going to go up forever. It's not going to be a straight line up. Just like people thought gold and silver were going to be a straight line up. It's not. I hope I answered your question. There's a lot in there, but it's not a simple question to, it's not a simple response because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of moving parts right now. Tons and tons of moving parts. And at the base of this, crypto is kind of just chilling. Crypto is chilling. It's really not going down. It's not going up. It's just going sideways. And when I look at an asset that has sold off and is going sideways, I think of accumulation. Right? I think of accumulation. Something along the lines of, right, realistically. I know it's multiple weeks, but it really didn't go anywhere, right? It really didn't go anywhere. You have this. You have that. Scratch that. You got this. So really, you came down, you came up, you came back down, then you started to go. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Just we're in accumulation range. Time for accumulation of assets that have already experienced something that looks like that. In which right now is crypto, right? It's all of crypto. We've already covered that crypto looks like complete ass. Well, it has, and now it's looking to hopefully find some kind of base and bottom. My Snapchat trade is actually doing fairly well. Fairly well. I'm going to get to Algo real quick for Absurd. Very close to hitting my first take profit at 518, so we'll see about that. So let's go to Algo. Algo. I did this last time. Did I do it on the daily or the monthly? I did do it on the daily. Okay, I did it on the daily. Okay, so I have all this on the daily. Look at that. When did I chart this? Absurd. Did I chart this last week? Last week Wednesday? Last week Tuesday? I really can't remember. But this looks, man, it did take out this low. That would be so beautiful if this did not take out the low. Yep, I agree. Yep. I'm glad I answered your question. It was thought provoking. Honestly, it got me. It got me thinking about 5, 10 different things. But those are great questions to ask, and we need to. I think we should ask those ourselves, right, before we invest in a market that has to factor that in, and whether it goes up or down is world events. Um, yeah, I think the war ends fast. We probably yeah. If the war ends fast, that the Bears' worst news is going to be the ceasefire. The Bears really want war to continue because that's uncertainty. That's people being in fear. That's oil prices up. That's gold and silver going up. Traditional stocks going down. Futures going down. Yes. Um, but realistically, we don't necessarily have to go down though. If not like down as in we don't have to take out lows, but we could just keep going range. We could keep going range bound. Pardon me. We could go down and fall through the floor, but yeah, if the war ends fast, like if the war ends tomorrow, I would be shocked, right? If the war ends tomorrow, I'm gonna go live and um, I'm gonna have a beer before I go to work. No, I'm just playing, but it would catch me by surprise for sure. Um, And so, investing in oil right now, I think is a little bit risky just because, well, depending on the price, I don't even have any oil on here. I probably should have oil on here because that's, inversely related. As oil goes up, the markets go down. But I should have oil. I might add it. That's probably irresponsible of me, but it's okay. I'm just a man. So what we got here on Algo, we had these marked out. There's no way. Is this what he asked for? Asked for algo? Yeah, algo. Yeah. Okay. So we're at 12 cents. Almost identical. We have 12.35. It's at 12.37. It's at a key level. There isn't a 1-2 setup. Let's be real. There's not a 1-2 setup. I can't remember the last time I covered algo. It must have been a while because this thing fell through the floor. November of 2026. Sorry, November of 2025. I covered it from the future. Um, Dang. So yeah, so this thing fell through. I mean, it did respect this level. Let's be real. It did respect this level. It just fell through. I didn't expect it to go that much lower, but it did. And so what we got here is we're gonna adjust this bad boy. I do like to. I mean, for being honest, it did bump and run a little bit. Yes, it did. All right. At this point, I'm just going to leave that for visual purposes. It's not really functioning as anything anymore. Okay. Let me even use this right there. Boom. So it did break out. Does it mean anything? No, those took out lows. Dang it. Did it actually take out the low or did it double bottom? It did take out the lows. That's unfortunate. Okay, so right now it looks like you just have an impulse. So as of right now, let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, this is what we're talking about here. Wow, that looks pretty. That looks pretty. Yes, it does. And then we can see that this took out the lows. Okay, we can see that. Probably a golden dot or something around here. All that bullish divergence. Look at that bullish divergence. A bunch of bearish divergence. Look at all that bearish divergence on the 4 hour. So Algo has a decision to make. Either this thing it's got a red dot, it's got a bunch of bearish divergence. If possible, absurd. If possible, if you possibly have, if you're in a position right now where you're even or this is a very precarious position because you're at a key resistance level, you have a red dot, you have bearish divergence on the 4 hour, you have tons of bearish divergence on the 4 hour. Doesn't look good, personally, to me. Um, the move looks great. The move looks great. It just needs to sell off. It needs to correct. Look at that. Broke through the 4272. That's why crypto is great. It just doesn't really doesn't respect fibs all that often. realistically. Wow. Is this 1, 2? A, B, C for a third. You have a fourth wave coming down. I mean, this thing needs to start moving up. This thing has to start moving. You're above the 786. You need to really get above, at this point, really get above 12.55. I could move this. But if you lose 12.35, then that's the big deal. So if you lose 12.35, that's the big deal. But yeah, this is, let's see how much is corrected. So we have this 2. It's a shallow correction. It's a very shallow correction. Very shallow correction. This thing might actually freaking run up to 16 cents. Wow. This has to come to the 1618. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got targets for algo to 16 all the way to 18.2 cents. 18.82 cents, pardon me. 18.82 cents. Really, really, really need to close above and stay above this 12.35, but you need an impulse. This thing needs to get out of here unless you're in some type of flat where this is you have 3 down, you have 3 up, maybe you come back down in 3 and then you go. That would make more sense to me unless and if you don't get out of here and start going. If you just stick around here and play around in here, you're definitely gonna your bearish divergence is gonna play out and this thing is gonna get sold off. You could have a flat pattern going on right now. 3 down, 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down would be beautiful. Having 5 down, bouncing off at 10.51, then going up and get some higher levels. That's something that I would look for if I'm invested in algo. Right? These are just my levels. These are my ideas. It could be completely wrong, but that's what I'd be looking for. But the structure is nice. This is exactly what we'd want to see in Bitcoin or Ethereum or XLM, your favorite altcoin, right? That's exactly what you want to see. Yeah, that's kind of, as of right now, that's kind of what I got in terms of assets. No other requests. I'll take a look at XRP and stuff on Wednesday. I could take a look at that. Looked at Ethereum. Looked at Bitcoin. Bitcoin fell down. Look at that. Juicy. That's why I didn't invest in it. Juicy. ABT. We talked about ABT. Charted it for a while. This thing has followed it to a T. But that's pretty much what I got going on. XLM's not doing. I mean, it is what it is right now. I just want to kind of check before I get off if there's any other news, any other updated news before I get off. U.S. plans for potential strikes on energy targets in Iran. So, yeah, this is not going to be, I don't think it's going to be taken care of. So, maybe expect some turmoil the next couple of days, tight stop losses, things of that nature. So, as always, I thank you for your time. I thank you for stopping by. I'll be going live again on Wednesday. If you're interested in the free Discord, it'll be linked in the description. Paid Patreon membership, same thing. Everything is described in there, so you don't got to go. There's no test where you have to buy it and see. Everything is up for you to read and look at. So, as always, I thank you for your time. I thank you for stopping by. As always, take it easy. Peace.